Hare Krishna devotees, am I audible?
Hare
Yes,
Krishna.
Guruji.
Yes, Guruji.
Okay, ठीक है. So we'll start. ॐ अज्ञानतिमाङ्गस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकयं चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. श्रीचैतन्यमनोविष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा तदानीं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं. वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवां च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथामृतं पंचजीवं साद्वैतं साधुभूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमां विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन् नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदनाय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरतस्मै हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त श्रीराधाकान्त नमोस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौरांगी श्रीराधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna devotees. So thank you all for joining on time. So today we'll have to cover preface introduction. So it's a big one. So I will little bit be fast in covering because all these things will be covered in the subsequent chapters of Bhagavad Gita. So I'll not be explaining the concepts, but we'll just go through the introduction.
Over here.
Okay. So first is the preface. So I hope every one of you have Bhagavad Gita with you. Therefore, I'm not projecting Bhagavad Gita in soft copy. Everyone has hard copy Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so preface. Let's begin with the preface. So Srila Prabhupada preface is very, very amazing. And if you go to the last page, the preface was written on 12th of May 1971 in Sydney, Australia. So we find the big signature of Srila Prabhupada also. A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami. There's a big signature of Srila Prabhupada. I don't know if anybody would be able to copy this or not. A.C. Bhakti Vedanta, such a big. Hmm. Okay. So here Prabhupada will describe his mood and his mission in this preface. That's very, very nice to contemplate on the mood and mission of Srila Prabhupada. So, okay, so I hope you could read this once. So I will just highlight the lines which has mood and which has missions. So Prabhupada, in the beginning of the preface, if you see the first paragraph, it starts with, originally I wrote Bhagavad Gita. So there he starts and Prabhupada says that I wrote Bhagavad Gita which was 1000 pages, but then it was shortened to 400 pages of Bhagavad Gita. Hmm. But he said I was not happy. No, I was not happy with that. So he writes there, see I'm reading from preface, the first paragraph. The system is that I give the original verse as English transliteration, word to word Sanskrit English equivalents, translations, and purports. So you see, Prabhupada is mentioning what all he gives when he is translating every shloka. And actually, this is the mood of acharyas. Acharyas also translate in this way. Whenever they had to write a commentary on something, they will do like in this way only. This makes the book very authentic and scholarly and makes the meaning self-evident. So this line, if you say this is a mission statement to say the authenticity of the book, it's the authenticity of the mission. So this line is the mission. So now I will ask you, after reading, I will ask you, this line represents what? Okay. Now I will not tell. Your voice is slow. Hare Krishna, for other devotees, is it okay?
It's okay, Guruji.
Okay,
It's
Prabhuji.
okay, Guruji.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
Guruji. In the night, it's okay.
Okay, okay. ठीक है, okay. I was not happy, therefore. when it was minimized to my original manuscript. Hmm. But then Prabhupada is telling the demand increase and therefore they are now giving full. Thus, the present attempt is to offer the original manuscript of this great book of knowledge with full parampara explanation in order to establish the Krishna consciousness movement more soundly and progressively. This is what? Mood or mission? Mission. Yes. Aman Prue says mission. Correct. So he is putting his mission on the solid ground on the authority of Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, Prabhupada is first of all is bringing this thing. Okay, next paragraph, first line. Our Krishna conscious movement is genuine, historically authorized, natural, and transcendental due to its being based on Bhagavad Gita as it is. Mood or mission? It's mood or mission. Quickly, you have to write it down very fast. Mood? No, no, Aman Prabhu, this is not mood. This is mission. He is writing about his mission over here. That the mission is genuine, it is historically authorized, natural, and transcendental. Correct. Ayush Pro is writing the correct. It is. It's a mission statement Prabhupada is giving. And then Prabhupada writes about that how this movement is becoming very popular. Even the parents of my disciples, they are coming forward. Hmm. And then Prabhupada writes a very nice thing in the second paragraph, 2-3 lines from the below. But actually, the original father of this movement is Lord Krishna himself, since he had started a very long time ago, but is coming down to human society by disciplic succession. So Prabhupada is writing, they say that I did it. But Prabhupada is writing over, no, 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 no. The original movement was started by Krishna. If I have any credit in this connection, it does not belong to me personally, but it is due to my eternal spiritual master, His Divine Grace, Om Vishnupad Paramhans Prabhacharya, Ashtotar, Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada. So this is mood or mission? Mood, yes, everyone is writing mood. Yes, there's a mood. So here you see the mood of a Vaishnava. He's not taking credit. He's giving credit to Krishna first, that it is Krishna who did it first. And if I have any credit, I'm just following my spiritual master. That's the mood. Okay. That's very nice. Okay, then next paragraph, first line. Very, very amazing line. Very, very amazing line. So you can see the Prabhupada heart when he is writing this preface. If personally I have any credit in this matter, it is only that I have tried to present Bhagavad Gita as it is without any adulteration. So this is mood or mission? Okay, mission, mood. Yes, it is almost both. It is almost both. Is having mood also, that he is showing his humility, that I have not done anything great. I don't have any credit. And mission is he is telling that this is without any adulteration. And then in the middle of the paragraph, he writes, our business is to present the will of Krishna. This is again a mission statement of Prabhupada. Our business is to present the will of Krishna. Any shloka from Chaitanya Charitamrita where this mission comes, any statement? Because Prabhupada has always in mind some shlokas when he's writing something.
Bharat Bhumite
Yes,
Manishna
Parth bro.
Nahi.
Huh?
Yes, Puri, like there is verse which comes like Bharat Bhumite Janma hoile yaar, Jan Sartha kari paro.
Okay, okay. I am looking for something different. You see, our business is to present the will of Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण
प्राण
प्रभु।
प्राण अच्छे चार से हेतु प्रचार.
Okay. Anything else?
पृथ्वी ते यत नगरादिग्राम सर्वत्र
No,
प्रचारो
no, Aman
मूला
Prabhu.
नाम
Yes, Pushpanshu Prabhu.
हरे कृष्ण प्रदीप जा रहे देखो तारे कहो कृष्ण उपदेश।
हाँ, जारे देखो तारे कहो कृष्णा उपदेश हमारा आज्ञा गुरु होया तारा वही देश. So I think this is from Chetan Bhagavad. Sorry, this is from Chetan Bhagavad. Correct, Nabhi? This is from Chetan Bhagavad. Oh, not Chetan Chetan. Okay. So Jare dekhe tare kaho Krishna Upadesh. So that was also a mission statement for Prabhupada. You see, Prabhupada every time he used to say that you have to repeat the words of Krishna, repeat the words of Krishna. So therefore, here is now business is to present the will of Krishna. Then Prabhupada says, what is the will of Krishna? Man mana bhav mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskaru. Then Prabhupada is telling, I am giving you this in parampara. And then Prabhupada is writing about Mayavadi also, which are non-authorized. So first he presented his, that it is authorized. Now he is telling this is not authorized. What is not authorized? See, generally the so-called scholar, politician, philosophers and swamis, without perfect knowledge of Krishna, try to banish or kill Krishna when writing commentary on Bhagavad Gita. Such unauthorized commentary upon Bhagavad Gita is called Mayavad Bhashya. And Lord Chaitanya has warned us against this unauthorized men. So Prabhupada is again writing over here a mission statement for him, because Prabhupada was against Mayavad like his guru. Wherever he get an opportunity, he used to just hammer Mayavad. So again, Prabhupada established his authority, and then Prabhupada is writing, this is not the authority. Mayavad Bhashya is not the authority. Hmm. And what is the result if somebody hears this Mayavad philosophy? Prabhupada is writing, uh, the misguided student of Bhagavad Gita will certainly be bewildered on the path of spiritual guidance and will not be able to go back home, back to Godhead. Last statement of this paragraph. So Prabhupada is writing that. Then Prabhupada is again writing in the third paragraph his mood and his mission statements. So what is the mood of Prabhupada? The first line. Yes, Amativari, please read the first line.
Our only purpose is to present this Bhagavad Gita as it is in order to guide the conditioned student to the same purpose for which Krishna descends to this planet once in a day of Brahma or every 8.10
6 million years.
yes 8.6 million years. This purpose is one line हो गया मुझे नहीं आगे पढ़ूं प्रजी
Bas, okay, one problem. So here Prabhupada is writing again his purpose, his mission statement, why he is writing this. So he's telling, I am not giving any alteration. Again and again, Prabhupada is emphasizing the same point of his authenticity, that I am not giving something extra. It's the same which Krishna is giving. And then Prabhupada says that how Krishna gave this knowledge to Sun God in the disciplic succession. Without interpretation, it is coming. And then Prabhupada writes in the middle of the paragraph, to interpret Bhagavad Gita without any reference to the will of Krishna is the greatest offense. So like this Prabhupada is writing. Then Prabhupada is writing this Krishna conscious, again the next paragraph. This Krishna conscious movement is essential in human society, for it offers the highest perfection of life. So again, Prabhupada is mentioning about his movement, that this movement will give you highest perfection of life. And again, Prabhupada hits on Mayavad again. Even the so-called liberated Mayavadi spiritual has to undergo this process. This knowledge constitutes a great science, and each and every living being has to hear it for his own interest. So Prabhupada is writing, this knowledge which Bhagavad Gita is giving is for your interest. It is not nothing to do with me. It's for your interest. You have to hear it. And then Prabhupada is writing what we need to do. He is mentioning those things in the last paragraph. People in general, especially in the age of Kali, are emanated by the external energy of Krishna, and they wrongly think that by advancement of material comforts, every man will be happy. They have no knowledge that the external material or external nature is very strong, for everyone is strongly bound by the stringent laws of material nature. A living entity is happily the part and parcel of the Lord, and thus his natural function is to render immediate service to the Lord. By the spell of illusion, one tries to be happy by serving his personal sense gratification in different forms, which will never make him happy. Instead, now Prabhupada is giving us the thing which we need to do. That is a mission statement. Instead of satisfying his own personal senses, material senses, he has to satisfy the sense of the Lord. That is the highest perfection of life. Any shloka for this? Devotees? Yes, Pushpanshu Prabhu.
श्री आत्मेन्द्रिय प्रति इच्छा तारे बलि काम कृष्णेन्द्रिय प्रति आत्मेन्द्रिय प्रति वांछा तारे बलि काम कृष्णेन्द्रिय प्रति इच्छा धारे प्रेम नाम.
Okay, nice. There's also one shloka. Any other shloka anyone has? Yes, Vivek Prabhu.
यस पदी सर्वोपाधि विनिर्मुक्तम तत्परत्वेन निर्मलम ऋषिकेन ऋषिकेश सेवनम वक्तव्यम.
Haribol. Yes. Yes, this was I learned. All of you are pandits, great pandits. I don't know why I'm taking Bhakti Shastri for all of them. You already know all this. Okay, good. This is very nice. So Prabhupada is writing that is the highest perfection of life, for utilizing our senses in the service of Lord. Then Prabhupada is writing, the Lord wants it and he demands it. Lord wants it and he demands it. So first of all, in the 18 chapters, he wants it. He wants to, so that Arjuna can surrender to him. But then in one of the shloka, he demands it. Which is the shloka? He demands it. Yes, Avantiwari bro.
सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य मामेकं शरणं व्रज अहं त्वां
Hmm.
सर्वपापेभ्यो मोक्षयिष्यामि मा शुचा.
Yes. Then finally he demands it also. That you do what I am telling you. Engage your service, senses in my service. One has to understand this central point of Bhagavad Gita. See, Prabhupada is giving the conclusion in the beginning of the Bhagavad Gita itself. अगर कोई हो सकता है भगवद गीता इतनी मोटी बुक देखकर सोचे कि मैं बस एक दो पेज पढ़ूंगा, उसको भी मिस नहीं होना चाहिए सेंट्रल पॉइंट. कोई बोलेगा कुछ ज्यादा ही मोटी बुक है, दो पेज पढ़ लेता हूं मैं. एंड ही रीड्स. So this is a central point of Bhagavad Gita. One has to serve the senses of Krishna. Our Krishna conscious movement is teaching the whole world this central point. And because we are not polluting the theme of Bhagavad Gita, anyone seriously interested in deriving benefit by studying Bhagavad Gita must take help from the Krishna conscious movement for practical understanding of Bhagavad Gita under the direct direction guidance of the Lord. So what do you mean by polluting the Bhagavad Gita? Yes, what do you mean by polluting the Bhagavad Gita? Prabhupada is writing over, na? We are not polluting the theme of Bhagavad Gita. Yes, Srinivas Prabhu.
Adding their own interpretations, their own motives.
Correct. Adding their own interpretation. That is speculation. That is called polluting. Book. The shloka comes, no? That shloka. Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, Kami, Sakale Ashant. So adding these concepts of Bhukti, Mukti and Siddhi through Bhagavad Gita. That is called polluting the theme of Bhagavad Gita. And then Prabhupada, in a very, very humble mode, he is writing the few lines, last lines. We hope, therefore, that people and the Bhakti Shastri students will derive the greatest benefit by studying Bhagavad Gita as it is. We have presented it here. And even if one student of Bhagavad Gita becomes a pure devotee of the Lord, we shall consider attempt a success. See what is Prabhupada's expectation. Prabhupada's expectation is that all of you become a pure devotee. After reading that Bhagavad Gita, you become a pure devotee of the Lord. So I think Shrudakirti Prabhu tells this pastime very nicely. He says, one time, suddenly I heard a ringing bell from Prabhupada's room. It was midnight, around 12 or 1 a.m. So he ran to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was awake. He was on his bed sitting, and light was off. Shrudakirti Prabhu had just one torchlight, something like that. So he just ran to Prabhupada and he paid obeisances to Prabhupada and he came to Prabhupada. Yes, Prabhupada. And Prabhupada said, what you are doing? And Shrutikiti Prabhu says, Prabhupada, I am sleeping. Prabhupada said, why you are sleeping? Prabhupada, I am very tired. He said, Prabhupada, I am very tired. Prabhupada, I am very tired. Prabhupada said, I am also tired, but I am not sleeping. Then Shrutikirti Prabhu says, Prabhupada, you are a pure devotee. Prabhupada, you are a pure devotee. And Prabhupada says, why you are not a pure devotee? And then Shrutikirti Prabhu does not have any answer to this. He says, "Kya bolu?" Then Prabhupada calms down. He said, okay, go and take rest. Then Shrutikirti Prabhu comes. So he writes the explanation that how Prabhupada wanted all of us to become pure devotees. He said, why you are not a pure devotee? So there he writes that it's a desire of Prabhupada that each of us becomes a pure devotee of the Lord. Okay. So this is the humility of Prabhupada. Plus it also shows that Prabhupada did not have any fruitive mentality while presenting Bhagavad Gita. He is not presenting Bhagavad Gita to cater to some audience or attract some audience. He is a genuine postman of the Acharyas. Generally, when we go to some programs, preaching programs, कितने आए थे प्रभु? कल कितने आए थे? कल के प्रोग्राम में? परसों के प्रोग्राम में कितने आए थे प्रभु जी? So it's always like that. We have the number. Of course, we should also have this count and everything. But you see the Prabhupada's mood. He is just like a postman. Prabhupada used to say. Prabhupada used a very specific word. He used the word peon. Not even postman or postmaster like that. He uses the word peon. and that I'm a simple peon. So that's the mood of Prabhupada. Prabhupada is presenting the knowledge of the acharyas as it is, and he is not looking for name, fame, or audience or followers when he's presenting it. He is presenting as it is. We know that past time how one person came to Prabhupada and said, Prabhupada, if you just reduce one regulative principle from your four regulative principles, whole America will become your disciple. Prabhupada said, which one? He said, illicit sex. Prabhupada said, I have not come here to impress the Americans. Those who wants to follow, they can follow. Others don't want to follow, they will not follow. So we see that Prabhupada was always in the mood that he wants to spread the message of Krishna without any fruity mentality. So here he writes in 1971 when he has so many disciples. You see this preface it in 1971. He has so many disciples now. 1971 he has many disciples. But what he's writing, even if one person becomes a pure devotee, I will consider our attempt a success. So this is how Prabhupada is. This is his criteria for success, that he becomes a pure devotee of the Lord. It's not that how he will follow me. No, he will become a pure devotee of the Lord. That's my success. Okay. So thank you so much. This was preface. Now let us come to introduction. Introduction is very big. And so some history of this introduction. So this introduction was written by Srila Prabhupada. Not written, it was spoken by Srila Prabhupada in 1966. So in 1966, Srila Prabhupada was alone in his room. This is 19th February 1966 and 20th February 1966. Prabhupada is alone with a dictaphone. He has a recording machine with him. And alone, he speaks the whole introduction to Bhagavad Gita in that machine. So if you have Bhagavad Gita lectures, you'll find this introduction is the first three lectures in that. 19th February 1966 and 20th February 1966. And he had this introduction speaking to dictaphone alone. There's nobody in the room. He's not giving any class. He's just speaking that introduction. So this whole introduction is that only. So why he wrote this whole introduction? So Prabhupada always had this thought in mind that I may leave this world anytime because the conditions are not so good. So therefore he wrote Krishna book also and all. So he always had this thought that I may leave this world. So therefore he wanted to give a summary of whole Bhagavad Gita. A summary of whole Bhagavad Gita. So in that way he gave this introduction. So the whole Bhagavad Gita, introduction of Bhagavad Gita is like whole summary of Bhagavad Gita, if you read it. Secondly, whatever we learn in device, whatever concepts we learn in device, all things are mentioned in introduction. You will see कि अरे ये तो हमारे वहीं पर है डिवाइस में ही पढ़ा हमने ये सब. So you'll find all those things are coming for introduction. All those things. So this introduction is very, very amazing. So we'll just see one small PPT which says about the contents over here. Just to show you. Then we'll read some part of introduction. So this is Hitkarish Ashram Pro's PPT on which he took introduction of Bhagavad Gita. So this is Prabhupada guys. So this is introduction of Srila Prabhupada. So what are the things which are covered in this introduction? This covers the spirit, the purpose of Gita, the subject matter of Gita, the process of understanding Gita, the result of understanding, and practically applying this knowledge to attain the desired result. So these are the themes which are covered in this introduction. This whole introduction which we'll be having will have this 6 themes to be covered. So it talks about the spirit of Bhagavad Gita. It talks about Bhagavan features. So these things you know already why Krishna is known as Supreme Personality Godhead. Prabhupada gives a whole explanation in this. Okay. So this was the themes, 5 themes which are there, which was one to mention. One more PPT I'll just show you before we begin conversion. Krishna 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 Ram 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 Okay, so this just one slide I wish to show all of you. So Prabhat, in this introduction, he will also cover these topics and explanation of these 5 topics of Gita, if you are able to see the screen. So we have these 5 topics of Bhagavad Gita: Ishvara, Atma or soul, Jiva, Prakriti. This is the 3 main things. And then Karma, Kala, and the connection between us and Ishvara, that is Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. So he will talks about these 5 primary things, that Ishvara, Atma, Karma, Prakriti and Kala. Prabhupada explains this in introduction as well, all these things. And then connection between is mentioned as Yoga, that is Bhakti Yoga. So our journey should go through all these chapters in this way. Chapter 1 is redefining success. Chapter 2 is rediscovering identity. Chapter 3 to 5 is repositioning lifestyle, that is Karma Yoga. 6th chapter is remodeling our mind. 7th to 9 will be reawakening the divine love. 10 to 12 will be reconnecting with the Supreme. 13 to 17 will be refiguring our energy. And 18th will be reviving your purpose. So this is a theme which will be going on throughout. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna. You could hear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So these will be the themes which will be covered in this Bhagavad Gita. So let us go into the introduction now. Okay. So Prabhupada starts the introduction. So we have just half an hour to cover the whole introduction. So you can read in your leisure time this whole introduction very slowly. But I will be just covering the main themes and some important lines which Prabhupada writes in this introduction. So Prabhupada begins the introduction by offering prayers to whole Guru Parampara. If you see the first page. And then the first paragraph which he starts is, Bhagavad Gita is also known as Gita Upanishad. So Prabhupada will first establish the authenticity of this Bhagavad Gita in this introduction. So this Bhagavad Gita is Gita Upanishad. So you see, Prabhupada writes the introduction in a very, very nice way. Whatever theme you want to know, why Prabhupada is writing this, Prabhupada writes it already in that paragraph only he will write. Like in the middle of first paragraph, Prabhupada writes, this present edition can be explained in the following way. Why I am writing this Bhagavad Gita? Prabhupada writes first point. Why I am writing this Bhagavad Gita? Then Prabhupada says that one American lady she came to me and then she asked for an edition of Bhagavad Gita which is authentic. Then I could understand that there are so many versions of Bhagavad Gita, but they are not giving the true essence. And therefore, I am writing it in a very strictly. So Prabhupada writes, you see in this last 1-2 lines. As far as I have seen, not only in America but also in India, none of them can be strictly said to be authoritative because in almost every one of them, the commentator has expressed his own opinions without touching the spirit of Bhagavad Gita as it is. So Prabhupada writes, therefore I am writing this Bhagavad Gita in accordance with the parampara, fully authentic. So this is the first theme in the first paragraph. Then from here, Prabhupada takes the whole journey from one page, second page, third page. He will take the whole journey to the spirit of Bhagavad Gita till page number 5. In my book, it is till page number 5. He will take the whole journey through the spirit of Bhagavad Gita. So what is the first thing which he mentioned the spirit of Bhagavad Gita is that the speaker of Bhagavad Gita is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the first spirit he emphasized. That from whom we are hearing this Bhagavad Gita, it is Krishna and he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. जैसे कोई भी प्रोग्राम होता है सबसे पहले आप स्पीकर का ऑथेंटिसिटी चेक करते हो, भैया ये स्पीकर ऑथेंटिक है या नहीं, इसका क्वालिफिकेशन क्या है, माइक्रोसॉफ्ट से है, गूगल से है, अमेजन से है, कहाँ से है. तो सबसे पहले आप स्पीकर का ऑथेंटिसिटी देखते हो। सो प्रभात जी ने भी सबसे पहले किसका किया है? स्पीकर को ऑथेंटिसिटी प्रूफ किया है। दैट इज व्हाई कृष्णा इज द सुप्रीम पर्सनालिटी ऑफ गॉडेड। सो देन ही रेफर्स, ही गिव्स मेनी प्रूफ। जो हम एग्जांपल देते हैं ना, व्हाई कृष्णा इज द सुप्रीम पर्सनालिटी ऑफ गॉडेड, वो पूरा जो स्लाइड है वो आपको यहीं से मिल जाएगा। ठीक है, सो दिस इज द फर्स्ट थिंग, व्हाई इज कॉल्ड भगवान। अर्जुन एक्सेप्टेड इट, आचार्यज आर एक्सेप्टिंग इट। So this is the first thing which he covers, and he covers the same thing again in the next page also, when Arjuna accepts him again as a supreme personality of Godhead. So this is one thing which he goes till there, that why Krishna is known as supreme personality of Godhead. So he writes a very nice line. And the fifth page, second last paragraph. Fifth page, second last paragraph. If you go there, the paragraph starts with, therefore Bhagavad Gita should be taken up in the spirit of devotion. Got this paragraph? Everyone? Okay. So in the end of this paragraph, he says a very nice, very important line. The person who is trying to understand Bhagavad Gita, the person who is trying to understand Bhagavad Gita, we should at least theoretically accept Sri Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. And with that submission spirit, we can understand Bhagavad Gita. Unless one reads Bhagavad Gita in a submissive spirit, it is very difficult to understand Bhagavad Gita because it is a great mystery. So this is the first conclusion which Prabhupada gives, that if you want to understand Bhagavad Gita, first you have to accept Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. If you have doubt on that, you will not be submissive to Krishna. When Krishna is telling you surrender to me, then you will have doubt. Why to surrender to him? Who is he? I can surrender to other person. Why should I surrender to Krishna? So therefore, the first thing which Krishna Prabhupada emphasizes over here is that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Okay. Now page number 3. Again back. Now Prabhupada will be explaining the second concept, that is the history of Bhagavad Gita. That this Bhagavad Gita is not a new book. So Prabhupada writes 3 shlokas of 4th chapter. Evam vivasvate yogam proktavan aham abhyam vivasvan manve praha. So he gives the history of Bhagavad Gita. That this Bhagavad Gita is not a newly fashioned book which I am giving. No, it's the message which is given by Krishna in the dawn of the creation, and the same message I am giving. So this is the second thing which he emphasizes on the history of Bhagavad Gita. The third which he emphasizes, that the spirit of Bhagavad Gita, to know Bhagavad Gita, is to become a devotee of Krishna. So this is the third paragraph which he mentions about Arjuna, that Arjuna was a devotee of the Lord and a friend of Krishna. So see in the end of this paragraph and the end of this page, page number 3, Prabhupada writes, therefore, Bhagavad Gita is best understood by a person who has qualities similar to Arjuna's. That is to say, he must be a devotee in direct relationship with the Lord. So then Prabhupada writes this third point over here, that if you want to understand Bhagavad Gita, you have to become a devotee of the Lord. And then Prabhupada writes about different relationships which one can have with the Lord. Devotee can be in Shantaras, Dasyaras, Sakhyaras, Vasalyaras, and Madhuryaras. And then Prabhupada explains that when you understand this, your relationship with Krishna, that is called Swarupa. In the next paragraph, he writes about Swarupa. That if you understand your relationship with Krishna, that is called Swarupa. Then Prabhupada writes the first line of next paragraph. This is page number 4. So how Arjuna accepted this Bhagavad Gita should be noted. This is another theme which Prabhupada is mentioning. How to take up this Bhagavad Gita. The way Arjuna did it. And then again, 10th cantos, verses number 12 to 14, Prabhupada's quote, that how he accepts Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. Again, Prabhupada will bring back the same point, that Arjuna accepted Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead. He accepted in the page number 5, if you go, then Prabhupada writes about Parabrahma, Paradhama, Purusham, Pavitram, Shashvatam, Adidevam, Ajam, Yum. This is how Arjuna accepted him as a Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then Prabhupada writes that, oh, somebody may say he was a friend, so he's saying like this. So Prabhupada says, no, Acharyas are also telling like that. Arjuna mentions them also. And then how Arjuna accepts it? Prabhupada writes in the middle of the paragraph, in page number 5. Therefore, Arjuna tells Krishna that he accepts whatever he says to be completely perfect. Sarvam etam kritam manne. So this is the conclusion of Arjuna, that he accepts whatever Krishna is telling. And then Prabhupada gives the final statement for this theme in the next paragraph. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita should be taken up in the spirit of devotion. So what is the story which comes for this? The spirit of devotion. Anyone knows the story which comes for the spirit of devotion? Okay, Pushpanshu Prabhu, you have answered a lot. Yes, Anurag Prabhu, please.
South Indian Brahmin.
Yes, South Indian Brahmana stories. That story comes. The devotion was there. He had full faith on his spiritual master, and therefore he could understand the spirit of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so now from fifth page, last two lines. It says, then what is the Bhagavad Gita? Prabhupada starts a new theme now. So till now he have proved that the speaker is authentic, Supreme Personality of Godhead. The listener is authentic, and what is his relationship? He is a devotee. And how he accepted Bhagavad Gita, which is authentic, coming from the dawn of the creation. He is accepting every word of Krishna. So this theme he has covered. Now he is commenting what Bhagavad Gita can give you. What are the benefits of Bhagavad Gita you are going to get? So see, now he is starting this new theme, and he is writing, the purpose of Bhagavad Gita is to deliver a mankind from the nescience of material existence. This is the purpose of Bhagavad Gita. There is no other purpose of Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is meant to take you from the material world to the spiritual world. So Prabhupada writes a very nice line. If you see this paragraph only in the next page, page number 6. Prabhupada writes a very nice line, very, very interesting. Prabhupada's some lines are very good. So he says, our very existence is in the atmosphere of non-existence. What amazing line. Our very existence is in the atmosphere of non-existence. And so Prabhupada writes that why one should inquire for this, why one should try to go out of this material existence, because everyone is suffering in this material world. And therefore one has to ask this question, Athato Brahma Jigyasa, why I am suffering. So in the page number 6, second paragraph, Prabhupada is writing, therefore, those who begin to question why they are suffering, or where they came from, or where they shall go after death, are the proper student for understanding Bhagavad Gita. The sincere student should also have a firm respect for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Such a student was Arjuna. So Arjuna was also very depressed, in anxiety, and he was confused, and he got the help of Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada said, this is the criteria if somebody has this Athato Brahma Jigyasa, that why I am there, why this suffering is there. So then he is a proper student of Bhagavad Gita. Then Prabhupada in the next paragraph also writes some very nice lines. So same theme is going on. The second theme is going on, that why one need to have Bhagavad Gita. This same theme is going on. So Prabhupada writes in the next paragraph, there may be one who actually enters the spirit of understanding his position, and from this Bhagavad Gita is, and for him this Bhagavad Gita is spoken. So then Prabhupada writes a very, very nice line, you see. Actually, we are swallowed by the tigress of nescience, but the Lord is very merciful upon living entities, especially human beings. तो टाइग्रेस, कोई श्लोका याद है आपको जहां पर टाइग्रेस आती है? टाइग्रेस करके कुछ आता है, मतलब माया को बोला जा रहा है यहाँ टाइग्रेस, कि माया को कैप्चर कर लेती है. एनी श्लोका? Any other devotee? Pushpanshu Guru is only answering all. Any other devotee which is talking some shloka from somewhere? Yes, Anurag Guru.
कृष्ण बोलिए जो भगवान से करे निकटस्थम है तारे. Acharya.
हाँ करेक्ट। कृष्णा बोलिया जीव भोग वांछा करे, निकटस्थे माया तारे झपटिया धरे। वहां वर्ड क्या हुआ है? झपटिया। जैसे एक टाइग्रेस होती है ना, झपक के ले लेती है। वैसे ही माया ने हमको झपक के ले लिया है, क्योंकि हम कृष्णा से दूर हुए तो झपक के ले लिया। हम्म। तो यहाँ पे प्रपात उसके बोल रहे हैं। देन इन द नेक्स्ट स्मॉल पैराग्राफ प्रपात राइट्स दिस वेरी नाइस लाइन that being an associate of Lord Krishna, Arjuna was above all ignorance. But Arjuna was put into ignorance on the battlefield of Kurukshetra just to question Lord Krishna about the problems of life, so that Lord could explain them for the benefit of future generation of human beings and chalk out the plan of life. Prabhupada writes this very nice line: chalk out the plan of life. So through Bhagavad Gita, we have to chalk out the plan of our life. How should I live my life? So that for that Bhagavad Gita is spoken. That is chalk out the plan of life. And then next theme will begin over here. From the last two lines of page number 6, Prabhupada will begin explaining the 5 concepts of Bhagavad Gita. What are the 5 concepts? Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Karma, and Kala. So Prabhupada, from this paragraph till almost the end of introduction, he is explaining that only. Almost till the end of introduction, he will explain this whole concept of these 5 topics. So in the paragraph, in the first paragraph of the 7th page, Prabhupada is writing, from Bhagavad Gita we must learn what God is, what the living entities are, what Prakriti is, what the cosmic manifestation is, how it is controlled by time, and what are the activities of living entities are. So these are the 5 concepts which Prabhupada is now going to explain one paragraph after another. So very simple concepts you all know. So the first thing he is explaining is Ishvara. So Prabhupada quotes this verse from Bhagavad Gita, Maya Dakshina Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam, that how Krishna is the supreme controller of everything. So the first concept he explains is Ishvara. Then he touches in the middle of the paragraph of Jivas. You see, in the middle of the paragraph, he will touch upon Jiva. He gives the analogy of a particle of gold, a drop of water. These analogies he gives for Jivas. If you see below, the word Jiva is written, and then Prabhupada gives these 2 analogies: particle of gold and drop of water. In the next paragraph, then Prabhupada begins to explain, this is page number 8, Prabhupada begins to explain Prakriti, what is material nature. And he defines 2 types of Prakriti, which is shloka number 7.4 and 7.5 of Bhagavad Gita. Bhumi rapo nalo vayu kham mano buddhi revacha. And then aparayamitastu anyam prakritim vidhi me param jiva bhuta. So he explains this Prakriti, and he also explained that Jiva is different Prakriti. Jiva is a different Prakriti, and there's an inferior nature, material nature. So he explains in this one. And then he, in the next paragraph, he talks about time and karma. He talks about time and karma in the next paragraph. So he writes, I will just read 2 lines. Material nature itself is constituted by 3 qualities: the mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. Above these modes, there is eternal time. And by the combination of these modes of nature, under the control and purview of eternal time, there are activities which are called karma. And Prabhupada began write 1-2 more lines about karma. These activities which we do under the material nature is called karma. So this is another thing which he writes. Now from the next paragraph, he again explains those things. Those 5 concepts only he is explaining again. So this time in a different theme. The theme is which are eternal, which are not eternal. So out of these 5, 4 are eternal. Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala. This is eternal. But karma is not eternal. So that he mentions there, and he explains those concepts. Why these are eternals, why karma is not eternal. So that concepts he explained. So I am not explaining these concepts because this will come in Bhagavad Gita. When you will start reading, these all concepts will come in Bhagavad Gita. Why it is eternal, why it is not eternal. And I know most of you might have heard about this. So in the next paragraph, Prabhupada writes why karma is not eternal. So that whole thing he explained. Then in the next paragraph, in the last paragraph of page 9, Prabhupada begins to explain the difference between Jiva and Ishvara. He will begin to define who is a Jiva, who is an Ishvara, what is the difference between them. So all those things he begins to. So this all theme is going that explanation of the five concepts only. So Prabhupada says this whole paragraph, next paragraph also, is all about that difference between Jiva and Ishvara. So some important lines which Prabhupada is writing over here, I will just share those lines. So in the page number 11, if you go, in the middle of the paragraph, he writes purified consciousness. Purified consciousness. The meaning of purified consciousness, he writes. What do you mean by purified consciousness? Purified consciousness means acting in accordance with the instructions of the Lord. This is whole sum and substance of purified consciousness. Prabhupada sometimes write this word, sum and substance. This is the conclusion which he gives. That the pure consciousness means a jiva having a pure consciousness means he will work under the instructions of the Supreme Lord. He will not become Lord. That is purified consciousness. And again, Prabhupada writes in the next paragraph that we are cooperator, we are not the enjoyer, having the same theme, the Jiva and Ishvara. Same theme he continues in the page number 11, that how we are cooperator. So Prabhupada is the first time he is writing this word cooperator. We are not a competitor, we are cooperator. He gives the example of different parts of a machine, different parts of the body, gives those analogies in page number 11. In the next page number 12, he gives the analogy of servant and master as well. So that he gives. So till page number 12, he is maintaining the same thing of Jiva and Ishvara differences. And then he talks about impersonal Brahman. He begins to talk about impersonal Brahman from page number 12. That how it is the lights which are emanating from the Lords. So basically now he will tell that Ishvara has a form. The concepts which he is now going to cover is Ishvara has a form. So that whole theme he is now going to cover. That how the Supreme Ishvara is not formless, he has a form. So that concept he will start from page number 12 and he will continue this theme till page number 13, third paragraph. He will continue this theme. And he writes a very nice line, very, very nice line in page number 13, second last paragraph. He writes a very, very nice line. He says this manifestation has its own time fixed by the energy of the Supreme Whole. And when its time is complete, this temporary manifestation will be annihilated by the complete arrangement of the complete. Now you hear, this is very, very nice lines. There is a complete facility for the small complete units, namely the living entities, to realize the complete. And all sorts of incompleteness are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete. So the Bhagavad Gita contains the complete knowledge of the Vedic wisdom. Wow, what an amazing line. Prabhupada is writing. Only complete, complete, complete. Everything complete. This line is very, very important, which Prabhupada. All sorts of incompleteness are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete. तो कभी कभी हमको अपनी भक्ति में डाउन लग रहा है, इसका मतलब हम कृष्णा को अपने लाइफ में नहीं ला रहे हैं, बिकॉज कृष्णा और हम मिलके ही कंप्लीट बनते हैं. So this incompleteness which is there in the heart can only be complete when the complete whole takes his complete position in our heart. So then only we'll be happy. So therefore Prabhupada is adding this very nice line. So now from next purport till page number 15, from next line, from next para, purport. From next para of page number 13, last para, page number 13, last para to 15th, this is this is almost 14th hole. 14th hole. Prabhupada is explaining the importance of Vedic knowledge or why scriptures are authentic. Like it's a device session of proving scriptures. So Prabhupada from here, page number 13, he starts this is all Vedic knowledge is infallible. All Vedic knowledge is infallible. So he starts this paragraph from here. He begins to explain why this knowledge is infallible. The scriptures are infallible. He starts from here and then he continues it. So in the next paragraph, he says that Vedic knowledge is not a question of research. It is coming from parampara. It is beyond the four defects. It is aparishya. And it is given by the Supreme Lord who is known as Pitamaha. So all these things, Prabhupada is explaining that how this Shastric knowledge is infallible. That he explains. Now page number 15. From page number 15, first he will explain that these Shastras are meant for human beings. So difference between animal versus human. He writes in the 15th page, para number 2, which is our first session of device. Difference between animals versus human. So he writes over here. And then from 15th onwards, 15th last paragraph, he will explain what is Sanatan Dharma. Like which is like device 6th session we take, 5th and 6th session. What is Sanatan Dharma? So all those things Prabhupada is writing over here. It does not mean some kind of faith. Religions mean people say it's a kind of faith. No, it's not a kind of faith. It is the eternal dharma. So Prabhupada begins to explain those all dharma, all things over here. What is Sanatan? We have Sanatan abode. We are Sanatan. Lord is Sanatan. Relationship is Sanatan. He begins to explain all those things. He quotes Shripad Ramanujacharya that Sanatan means, this is page number 16. In the third paragraph, he quotes Shripad Ramanujacharya, where Sanatan means that which has neither beginning nor end. In the next paragraph, Prabhupada writes about religion, and he quotes that the religion of water is to flow, liquidity. He mentions that. In the next paragraph, he quotes about dharma. Dharma refers to which is constantly existing with a particular object. So he talks about dharma there. And then what is our dharma? He talks about service to the Lord is our dharma. He quotes Sanatan Goswami when he is asking Chaitanya Mahaprabhu what is our dharma. Then till page number 18. Page number 18, third paragraph, if you come. So Prabhupada writes and concludes this topic by this. Factually, this is third paragraph, page number 18. Factually, we are related to the Supreme Lord in service. Prabhupada writes this a very, very nice line. Factually, we are related to the Supreme Lord in service. So this is how Prabhupada writes that our dharma is to serve the Lord. So after explaining whole the Sanatan Dharma and everything, he concludes that our dharma is to serve the Lord. Then somebody may question, what about demigods? So now Prabhupada starts a discussion about demigods. He says that if you worshiping demigods, it's like a lust, it's not love. So you don't have to worship demigods. And he quotes this Govardhan Leela. He quotes Govardhan Leela, how Krishna also stopped Nand Maharaj from worshipping Indra. So that he quotes. And then he talks about Sanatan Dhama, that is spiritual world. That we need to go to that spiritual world. By worshipping the Lord, we go to the spiritual world. So he begins a discussion now about the spiritual world, spiritual sky, about Goloka. So all these things he will explain in this, you see, page number 19. He starts with this verse, Natat Bhashyate Suryo Na Shashankana Pavaka. So he starts from there. He quotes Brahma Samhita also in that. And then he talks about Brahma Jyoti, where it is there, all the spiritual planets are there. So like this, Prabhupada mentions over here. On page number 20, the third paragraph, Prabhupada writes the how to go to that spiritual world. Now the theme will become how to go to the spiritual world. This theme will begin from here. So Prabhupada writes that there is no mechanical arrangements to reach spiritual world. And first of all, we need to break our relationship with material world. So how to do it? So Prabhupada writes in the next, if you go below, Prabhupada talks about material world through this shloka, Urdha Mula Madha Shaka. He talks about the material world. And then he writes, this is page number 21. He writes this shloka. The Lord suggests that we can attain the spiritual world in the following manner. Nirmana moha jita sangha dosha adhyatma nitya vinivritta kama dvandervamukte sukha dukkha samge ganchanti mooda padam avvayattat. So Prabhupada is writing that how to attain to the spiritual world. So that's things he is writing. And so he continues that discussion till page number 22. He talks about that shlokas from Antakalecha Mameva. He talks about that. And that is the way of putting the body that you can reach to the spiritual world, where if you remember Krishna at the end of the life. And then Prabhupada continues that theme till page number 24, where he writes that if you think of something else, then you will not reach spiritual world. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tajanti ante kalevram. So like this, Prabhupada writes. Then in the end of page number 24, he shifts the discussion that how you can remember Krishna 24 hours. Because if you want to go to the spiritual world, you have to think of Krishna at the time of death. For that, you need to every time think of Krishna. But how you will think of Krishna all the time? So now, from the page number 24 end, Prabhupada says the process is study of scriptures. That is to do Bhakti Shastri course. Then you can remember Krishna 24 hours. So then Prabhupada writes, then there are many Vedic literatures which is given by Krishna. He quotes the Chaitanya Charitamrita verse, Maya Mukta Jiva Nahi Swata Krishna Gan, Jivera Kripaya Kalya Krishna Veda Puran. So Prabhupada writes this whole thing that you have to study the scriptures and absorb your mind in Krishna. So like this, Prabhupada mentions that you don't need to leave your work. You have to just remember Krishna. So Prabhupada quotes in the page number 25 end, Prabhupada says the Varnashram system was for that, where you can do your service and you can remember Krishna. So Prabhupada quotes this Ma Manusmara Yuddhacha, how Arjuna was doing. So Prabhupada writes this page number 26. First paragraph, Prabhupada writes this conclusion for this paragraph, for this whole theme. Therefore, we have to practice remembering the Lord always, 24 hours a day, by chanting His name and molding our life's activities in such a way that we can remember Him always. Then Prabhupada says how it is possible. Then Prabhupada gives example of a woman who has a paramour and she does her work, but she always remembers the paramour. So Prabhupada gives that analogy over here. Then Prabhupada says that Prabhupada begins a discussion that mind is very restless, how to concentrate the mind. So Arjuna also had that problem. Then Krishna says, no, you can't do that. You have to just concentrate on me. So like that, Krishna explained. And then Prabhupada explains from Srimad Bhagavatam that what we need to do. That is, he gives the 9 processes of devotional service in page number 27. And then he also quotes 8.8 that Abhyas Yoga Yuktena, you need to do practice of this. So Prabhupada concludes this, how we can remember Krishna, in page number 28. This is very, very important paragraph. Page number 28, second paragraph is very, very important. Prabhupada is writing here how we can concentrate on Krishna. This is not a very difficult process. However, one must learn it from an experienced person. Tad vijnana sagurume vasigacchet. One must approach a person who is already in the practice. The mind is always flying to this and that, but one must practice considering the mind always on the form of the Supreme Lord Shri Krishna or the sound of His name. The mind is naturally restless, going hither and thither, but it can rest in the sound vibration of Krishna. So like this, Prabhupada is mentioning that do not get disturbed by mind, concentrate on Krishna. And then from here, Prabhupada will begin the glorification of Bhagavad Gita given by Sripad Shankaracharya. So this was a conversation between Lord Shiva and Mother Parvati, which Sripad Shankaracharya writes in his Gita Mahatmya. And Prabhupada also gives, so from here the glorification of Bhagavad Gita is there as mentioned in Gita Mahatmya. So we'll end by reading the last shloka. So this is page number 30. So we'll end with this, with the description, with the glorification of Gita. Ekam shastram deviki putra gitam, eko devo deviki putra eva, eko mantasta samaniyani, karmani api tasya devasya sevam. Yes, Raghavru, you can read the translation.
This present day, people are very much eager to have one scripture, one God, one religion, and one occupation. Therefore, Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Gitam. Let there be one scripture only, one common scripture for the whole world. Bhagavad Gita. Eko Devo Devaki Putra Eva. Let there be one God for the whole world, Sri Krishna. Eko Mantras Tasya Namani. And one hymn, one mantra, one prayer, the chanting of his name. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram,
Ram
Ram
Ram, Hare
Ram.
Hare. Karmapi ekam tasya devasya seva. And let there be one work only, the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Haribol, Hare Krishna. So we successfully completed. Next page, if you see, there is a list of parampara. So our glorious Brahma God Sampradaya, which has given us this knowledge and unadulterated knowledge directly coming from Krishna. So we are very, very fortunate to receive the supreme gift of transcendental knowledge from Lord Shri Krishna himself in the form of this divine scripture, Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And all of you are getting an opportunity to enter into this Bhagavad Gita from tomorrow. So my best wishes and my prayers for all of you so that you can understand and imbibe the teachings of Bhagavad Gita in your life. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you all devotees. Please do Pram. If not,
Puji is
everyone,
talking about
please.
Paran Puji.
Paran,
Okay,
Ekadashi Paran.
okay, Paran. Okay. Yes, yes. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.